Luke Humphries first appeared in the PDC back in February 2011 in a youth tour event at the infamous Barnsley Metrodome, in which Sean Griffiths beat Bully Boy Michael Smith in the final. Whilst the 2023 World Champ got to the final, the 2024 World Title winner lost 3-0 in his first game to Sam Hill after getting a bye. He then appeared in the next 7 youth tour events, but never made it past the last 64, meaning he didn't pick up any prize money. The 3 times he did reach the last 64 that year, he'd been given a bye through the first round, so he actually failed to win a game in his PDC appearances that year. He didn't appear in the final 6 rounds. Luke appeared in 8 youth tour events in 2012 and had a much better time of it. He lost in his first game 3 times, but also made it to a last 32, last 16, and had a good run to the quarter-finals of the year's 5th event, where he lost to that year's World Youth Champion, James Hubbard. He missed 10 of the tournaments that year, but managed to pick up £225 in prize money. Despite the unspectacular results, Luke had made progress, and you'd expect that he would appear in the PDC in the next few years. He was only around 18 at the time, and looked like this, so he had plenty of time to develop. However, it was then another 4 years before Luke appeared in the PDC again. At the time, he actually then stopped playing the sport for around a year and a half until one of his friend's Super League teams was short of a player. The friend asked him to play, and Luke did. This gave him the love for the sport again, which eventually led him to return to the PDC on the development tour in 2016. He had a good first weekend back and managed to win at least one game in the first 4 events, as well as reach the last 32 and quarter-final. The next block of 4 events featured runs to the last 32 and last 16 before back-to-back first-round exits. In the final 11 events, he only made it past the last 32 once, but that was when he had a great run to his first PDC final, which he got to by whitewashing Jeffrey Deswan. The improved results meant that he earned £2,250 and finished 19th on the Development Tour Order of Merit, getting him a place in the World Youth Championship for the first time. Luke managed to beat Robbie King 6-2 in round 1 before being beaten by eventual champion Corey Cadby. Luke then attended Q School for the first time, where he only won 5 games across the 4 days, which wasn't enough for him to get a card. However, what transpired in the rest of 2017 meant that it wasn't long before he got one. He made a great start to the Development Tour, winning the opening event of the season, and then losing the first round of Event 2 to eventual winner Dimitri Vandenberg. Luke managed to win 5 titles on the Development Tour that year, in a busy season which also saw him play on the Challenge Tour, where he won 1 event and made it to another final. His results in the Development Tour saw him top the Order of Merit, securing him a 2-year tour card and an Ali Pali debut. During the year, he was signed by Modus, the management company of several top players, including Michael van Gerwen. When signing the deal, he stated that it was his future goal to become a top 32 player and regularly make majors. Alongside Ryan Meikle, he was also signed by Red Dragon. In the World Youth Championship, he went on a run to the semis, where he was beaten in the deciding leg by eventual champion Dimitri Vandenberg. It was then time for his Ali Pali debut, and he looked very different at the time from what he does today. He faced Jeff Smith in a 1st-2 prelim round game and was beaten 2-0 after losing the opening set in a decider. In his first year as a tour card holder, he struggled and only made it to the last 16 of one Players Championship event. He did continue to play on the Development Tour, where he won 3 more titles and topped the Order of Merit for the 2nd year in a row. He did qualify for 6 Eurotour events that year, but only reached the 3rd round of 1 once, where he beat Gerwin Price 6-1 at the German Darts Grand Prix. That year, he lost in the last 64 on his UK Open debut and in the first knockout round of the World Youth Championship, despite being the top seed. Therefore, not much was expected of him going into his 2nd Ali Pali appearance. He did lose the opening leg of his match against Adam Hunt, but then won 9 legs in a row to secure a 3-0 win, in which he hit 5 180s and averaged 97.5. In the following round, Luke averaged 95.5 in a 3-1 win over Stephen Bunting, in which he hit 7 180s and checkouts of 142 and 136. His average fell below 90 in the next round, but he was able to beat Development Tour rival Dimitri Vandenberg 4-1 to reach the last 16, setting up a big tie with the defending champion Rob Cross. Luke averaged almost 100 against Rob and shocked the 2018 world champ, beating him 4-2 from 2-0 down and handing him his first ever Ali-Pali loss to reach the quarter-finals. Luke's run was then brought to an end by eventual finalist Michael Smith, who averaged 103. Humphries was named the PDC's Newcomer of the Year in their annual awards. Luke was chosen as one of the contenders for the 2019 Premier League. In his game, which took place in Exeter, he managed to secure a 6-all draw with Gerwin Price. A few months later, he appeared in the German Open Euro Tour event, a tournament which saw him have a terrible incident that almost led him to quit the game. In his first round game, he whitewashed Pavel Yerkel 6-0. Luke then faced James Wade and took out 1-4-9 to go 5-2 up and a leg away from the win. He missed 3 match starts in the next leg and 3 more in leg 10, allowing Wade to force the decider. James had the throw and won without giving Luke another checkout attempt. Following the game, Luke was seen by on-site paramedics after suffering an anxiety and panic attack. He went on to reveal the full extent of his mental health issues that had been affecting him for 18 months. In a statement, he stated that he had to come clean and be honest about his panic and anxiety disorder that had been affecting both his personal life and darts career. He said that he had to reflect on if he had to stop playing darts and was taking a step away from the game to get some specialist help. He thanked everybody for the support over the years and said it was much appreciated. Humphries told Darts News at the time that he was unsure if he was going to play in the next event as he was considering pulling out. Luke's management eventually released a statement saying that he would play in the following Players' Championship events before making a decision and seeking help. He did choose to withdraw from a later block of Pro Tour events, stating that it was the hardest decision of his pro career so far. He sought help from a psychiatrist who gave him cognitive behavioural therapy. He also went on holiday and didn't pick up his darts for a month during his recovery, as well as trying to eat better. He was unable to take beta blockers to help, as they were banned by the DRA. In June of that year, he managed to win his first Development Tour title 2019 and stated that he was over the moon with it after a tough time. He said that he had so much more to give in the game, which we now know to be true. He showed his class by winning the World Youth Championship on the stage in Minehead by whitewashing Adam Gaulas in the final. He was 24 at the time and became the oldest winner of the event and was given lots of grief as a result, but he met the age criteria. That was his final youth event in the PDC, so it was time to him to focus on the senior events full time. He then had a great run in the World Championship again, reaching the quarter-finals for the second year in a row, where he was beaten 5-3 by eventual champion Peter Wright. In early 2020, he beat Gary Anderson in Exeter to become the first challenger to win a Premier League game. The sport was heavily affected by COVID-19 lockdowns, which Luke actually benefited from. They allowed him to focus on his health, and during the 2021 lockdowns, he was able to lose 2 stone, meaning that his longer-term weight loss came to around 4 stone. He said that on reflection, big changes were needed to get him to the next level, and that has certainly been true. In the very next major after he lost all that weight, the UK Open, he was able to reach his first major final, where he was beaten by James Wade, the player he faced when at the worst of his anxiety. It was a sign of how things had changed. Whilst he didn't reach a major final in 2020, he was able to win 4 Euro Tour titles and finish the year ranked 5th in the world. Luke was then controversially left out of the Premier League, stating that he was gutted at the time but proud of what he'd done over the year, even if it was not good enough. However, he has since stated that the PDC were right, as it gave him even more time to develop into the player he was at the back end of this year, where he won 4 major titles, including the World Championship, which saw him become the world number 1. Luke's journey, which has seen him go from struggling in his early days on the development tour to becoming the world champion and world number 1 by overcoming anxiety and panic attacks and losing lots of weight, is certainly very inspirational. He's a very positive role model, and I hope we see him at the top of the sport for many more years to come. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss a new video. You can subscribe by clicking the button in the middle right there. Also, leave a comment letting me know how many titles you think Humphries will win this year in his first year as world number 1.